Hello, members of the Wow Club. We are live. We are live with a new interview. Seniors matter, and this is our time to thrive. And so, want to make sure that you are ready for this interview. So, I just want to let you know what is possible. We have unbelievable, ordinary people, ordinary seniors. I have a young senior here today who are doing extraordinary things and they're really changing the world. And you know what? You can be the next one. Yes, you can be the next one. And so let's talk about if you're watching this live or the replay, could you indicate in the comments down below hashtag live, hashtag replay? And you know what? Tell us where you're from. I'm coming in from Mexico, and my guest is from the US today, and we are going to find out where in the US. Also, there's a strip above this video, just above it, that says, give, right above here, give StreamYard permission to use your name, all right? So that if you want to interact with us, your name will show up and we can have a discussion. If you just want to comment, then, do it with lots of hearts because we love hearts. Okay, so today we have a story of I want to say a young senior, because I'm old enough to be his mother, who joined us when I say us, our community, over a year ago. And with the help of Tony Robbins and Dean Graciosi and our team, um, his life was changed. And this is what he's doing to make a difference in the world around him. So please stay with us to listen to his story and see what's possible when ordinary people, ordinary seniors, do extraordinary things. And I promise you that by the end of this interview, we will drop a bomb. We're going to share with you such an amazing information that we're all excited about that you will be able to join. And you know what? This is a one and only opportunity that will change the rest of your life. So stay tuned until the end of this short interview when we share that awesome information. So here's the story of my awesome guest. Claude Mudimbe is our dyslexia expert who's helping people with breakthroughs, who actually found out late in life with the help of Tony and Dean that he did have dyslexia and was not going to let his circumstances define him or his destiny, because he understands that to thrive, one must find what works for oneself as an individual. And his mess has become his message. So I want you to meet my awesome guest. How are you, Claude?
Yeah,
There you
mess, mess the message. How are you?
are. I'm fine, thank you. You
Thanks for
are
the.
our thriving influencer, our motivator. So
Thank you, thank you.
tell me, Claude. First of all, could you tell the audience where you're coming in from?
Yeah, I'm in San Francisco, California.
Okay. So tell me, you know, who were you just before you discovered the self-education industry? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. No, it was an accidental find, if you will.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've been you mentioned me finding my dyslexia late in life,
Yeah.
and I just turned 50 last year, and I've been self-employed for a few years, probably since 2014 or so, working from home. And at the time of my dyslexia discovery, I'd been, working from home and I was employed, but kind of waffling, just, getting that itch that I
Hmm.
needed to find something else. And I wasn't really sure what that something was,
Right.
but it just happened to fall into my lap fortuitously.
Wonderful. So
Yeah.
back then, what were your desires? And let's talk about daily struggles because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, daily struggles, living with dyslexia my whole life and not really knowing about it. I mean, it caused it created a whole host of problems, and a lot
Mhm.
of them were, rooted in self-esteem, lack of confidence, lack of direction, feeling like I wasn't intelligent to accomplish things that to me seemed pretty large. So,
Yeah.
that equated to a life of playing small. And, the struggles were that, well, I see other people doing great things, but
Mhm.
there's absolutely no way that I could ever step into those types of shoes. I just don't have, the capabilities, the intelligence, the skills, and the background to pursue anything meaningful. So I'm going to accept that my life is going to be less than average.
That was back then, right? What was the moment in your life that pushed you to do something different? But why did you decide to change? I mean, something happened.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm trying to create for the people that I'm empowering and
Mhm.
and trying to bring into this fold is not imposing what
Right.
I think they should do or or they should be, but it's about um, giving him a kernel of the power of possibility. And that's what
Mm.
happened to me when I was doing this this low paying job, checking IDs at a door. Here I did 5 years of college and I'm checking IDs at the door in a
Right.
bar. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with service related jobs, but I knew that I wanted more. I just didn't have the mindset and the belief that I could get more. And somebody walked into that bar here in San Francisco, and he gave me an opportunity. He's like, I work in an office. I work with people that have homes, savings accounts, 401ks, boats,
Mhm.
trips, and I want you to help me study under me and learn financial services. And it was a big ask, but I looked around. I was like, all right, well, I could be checking IDs and trying to break up fights, or I could step into something really, really uncomfortable. And I did. And that's the impetus, right? That's the thing that changed the course of life as I knew it.
Right. So, now you did the challenge with Tony. So, was there an epiphany there that you experienced? A new opportunity that you discovered?
Yeah, there more than one, but the big one was finding out that I could help people in a
Oh.
different manner, right? I mean, my daytime job is class action settlement recovery for big corporations. So
Mhm.
it's you're working with huge entities that don't have a personality, and the work that I do for them is not heart to heart, if you will.
Right.
So um the epiphany was that within a few months I found out that I had dyslexia because of the one and only Dean Graziosi, man, because
Graciosi. Right.
he was he gifted us a free audiobook. And in the beginning of that book he's like, dyslexia. Yeah, I had dyslexia. I'm like, why does he keep talking about this? Why is
Right.
it so important? I mean, I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that big a deal. I thought it was just flipping letters around, which I don't do. And I was like, okay, put down the audiobook, start looking at dyslexia, and
Wow.
the boom is like, whoa,
Wow. Yeah.
this is me, this is
Uh,
me, this is me, this is me.
wow. A
And
lot of people don't understand what that is, dyslexia. Yeah.
it's crazy. And that was just bananas, right? And
Mhm.
just it's like rediscovering yourself or figuring out that you had a twin or or
Right.
or something, right? It's just a big deal. And you start going into the wayback machine because you start to realize the reasons why you behave the way that you did, why you
Right.
think the way that you do, and ultimately the actions that you took that led you here today were all based on those thoughts.
Exactly.
So not only I got the dean charge of dyslexia, but then he's like, you could turn your mess into a message. I was like, what? Is that
Wow.
even is that even legal?
I know that's a big sentence, turning your mess into mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it too.
Yeah, and that's, so it was like double duty, got the dyslexia, and then the inspiration to try to take this and make it bigger, and ultimately try to change lives, change hearts, and bring
Right,
empowerment, and do something good that's got nothing to do with the corporation.
right, right. So this is something totally that you plan after joining the challenge, right? Something else that you wanted to achieve. You wanted to help other people who perhaps like you didn't know they had dyslexia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To tell you the truth, until I heard you talk about it, I didn't think I had it. But then after hearing you, I thought, oh my God, I think I have a dyslexia too. Because we think it's just reversing those letters. But there's a whole spectrum, isn't there, of dyslexia that people don't understand. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah, and and that's what makes it um complex,
Right,
and the way that people perceive it is just like, hey, you're just using this as an excuse to not do your work, or because you got bad grades. So it is a wide spectrum, which affects everybody in a different way.
right,
But if you hear a story of somebody that struggled with it, and if you actually listen to that story, eh, nobody's going to go out of their way to fake that, because it affects
yeah,
their whole life, right?
exactly.
So
Exactly. In the statistics today, that 1 out of 5 has dyslexia. Yeah, dyslexia is unbelievable. I mean,
yeah.
I know you've done your research for sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and in the way that I've come to look at it, because once you start getting into this thing, you're like, oh my God, I'm I think I don't own a cape, I don't have like a supercar or a phone booth
right,
I can change into. How am I going to affect the world, and bring some kind of
right,
positive change, as just me knowing the little that I know, and through hanging out with a lot of you guys in the Launch Lab community, and listening to Dean and Tony, and his cohorts, you start to realize that, well, you don't have to have a cape and a
right,
Batmobile. You could just start affecting change, a little bit at a time, one person at a time, and that really started to um to to bring it home for me, right? To materialize, okay, I don't have to do it all at once, and I could do it in a small corner of
right.
my universe, and
Exactly.
build things from there. So
Right. And you mentioned the Launch Lab Mastermind art and the team, and and as I understanding, you're creating a business, right? And creating a business online is not an overnight success for sure. So there's so many moving elements there going on. So, for you, what's the most challenging right now?
oh man,
Do you
let me
even know where to start?
let's see, get the Rolodex here.
Yeah, right.
I think the most challenging is going to be consistency,
Uh-huh.
within the guise of prioritizing, right? Because as I've come to learn here, is that there's just so many things that you want to be capable in, but it's too often easier to focus on the stuff that doesn't actually move the needle, like Dean says.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just prioritizing, and understanding and accepting the things that are actually going to propel you forward, are sometimes going to be the more difficult things, but that's how you get to the next phase.
Right. So I just want to let you know that Shika Khan is here with us, and she is a member of the Wow Club.
Yeah,
Um,
100 Women Club, or 100 Women book, right?
hello, hello, hello
Profiles.
to both of us. Um, so that's nice. Thank you, Shika, for being here. So Shika says, I think I also have it. It's amazing. It's amazing, Claude. I mean, after listening to you, how, and then the statistics that there's 1 out of 5, it's like, oh my God. And, and,
Yeah,
and it's not just, for me, it's a spatial thing.
right. Yeah, and a
And I
lot
don't
of
want to get into that, but
yeah, 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 and
I want to talk about you.
no, it's the spatial aspect of it is
Yeah,
definitely pertains, but a lot of people find out about their dyslexia, and a lot of it is, or a lot of it is parents. Parents taking their kids to school and maybe sitting down with a teacher or
right.
somebody at their school saying, "Hey, I think Timmy or Jane has tendencies that are this, and the other," and parents figure out that they have dyslexia based
I
on
know.
that. So there's so many souls walking around, um, feeling less than because
Right.
they have a history of either actual failure, whatever failure means, or perceived failure, and that's significantly affected their belief in themselves and
Hmm.
their actions. And I mean that's everything, right? We only get one of these LIFEs, so um, it's about changing those thoughts and trying to inject some positivity and the power of possibility.
Yeah, because you talk about owning your dyslexia, so that is huge. And so, can you talk about what your current results are, and maybe tell us a little bit about what your next goal is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've got a Facebook group, which was is it's like, wow, this is getting serious. I'm actually gonna bring people to my party, and but that's going well. And I got people in there that that have been there from the very beginning, which is about just a little over a year ago. So got close to 100 folks in that Facebook group, and I'm starting to
Well,
turn up the levers a little bit and being more proactive and inviting people into that fold. And that's really because part of this process has been making the snacks and the party favors so that when the people do show up, I got something to serve. And in this particular case, the snacks and the party favors are a live webinar, which actually will be on July 30th, coming
wonderful.
up here, and that's going to be followed by an online digital course within 45 days of the July 30th. And that's it's kind of just been building up to that. And I've been super grateful about the people that have showed up to my group, and I post in there just about daily. But I do want to get those party favors and be like, hey, here are the rice checks, but over here, there's some fondue and some other fancy dips. So
Who doesn't want to join your
I
party?
mean, who doesn't like
I
fondue?
certainly do. so, Claude, tell me tell me about how starting a self-education business, because this is what it is. It's a self-education business. How that has changed your life.
It's just it's a different, it's a huge shift in perspective
Yeah.
because up until this point, you see your inspirational, your motivational folks, and you're like, yeah, that's funny, people jumping up and down and crying. Is that really real? Are those spray on tears? um
Mm.
and you start to realize as I got into it, I started to recognize and realize the magnitude of what it means to actually impart change
Right.
and help somebody shift their life in a tremendous way.
Mhm.
And the fact that happens in all these niches and micro niches all over the world, and everybody's got something to show, everybody's got something to teach, regardless of how infinitesimal they believe their knowledge might be in that particular thing.
Right.
And that's just, it means that everybody on the planet can either be giving or receiving or doing both at the same time. And
Exactly.
that's been such a just a huge realization, scary but compelling, and and driving. It's a driving
Absolutely.
force. Yeah.
Well, Elizabeth is with us, and as you know, Elizabeth is a member of the Wow Club, and so she says, Claude, is going to make such a huge difference in so many people's lives, and I do believe that. So,
All right. Well, we're quoting her on that. Screenshot.
right. So how does that make you feel now and think about the world? I mean, it's such a huge change for you. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing because a lot of times when we step into something different, regardless of what it is, we're only seeing that next step, and that next step could be, terrifying,
right,
but we're not looking beyond that next step, and what stepping into this realm, it's just opened up a new avenues of thinking and new avenues of possibility. And I'm like, okay, it's not just about me talking about dyslexia. There's 20 degrees to the right, I could be doing this,
right,
35 degrees to the right, this could lead to that. So it becomes just a whole different pie with a bunch of different slices that didn't exist if
right.
I never stepped into this. And again, power of possibility, man. And that first step opens up so many doors. And I'm still not sure what doors are out there, but I know they're out there because I'm leaning in.
Yeah, Claude, and Elizabeth says you can quote me on that because it's
Loose.
happening. It's happening. She's right on it. So tell me, what kind of advice would you give? Maybe to seniors who are retiring, about to retire. Why the knowledge industry? Why the self education? I mean, you know,
Yeah, and whether you're close to that retirement or on the cusp or beyond it, this is just a way to share your experiences.
yeah,
And a lot of times we don't realize how profound those experiences are, and we don't recognize the depth of what we've learned along the way because we've
right,
never been persuaded to explore how you actually did the thing that you did,
right.
what it meant for you, and how it changed your life. And once you start breaking that down, which I've had to go back and deconstruct decades to be like,
Hmm.
how did I do that? Like, what was I thinking? What were the steps? And once you realize that you can do that, you will be inspired to share it. And as you begin to share it, and you would know this as a teacher, well, you teach somebody, you learn more, and it becomes this feedback loop
Absolutely.
that that just perpetuates itself and grows. And I actually just read 10 pages of this yesterday, but it's called um
Happiness curve.
it's the life why life gets better after 50. So
That's that's great.
so yeah, so there's a lot to teach, there's a lot to learn, and there's no reason to stagnate. And retirement is a great time to shine that light, because, well, you probably got time, and I gotta say, have been an inspiration in that light, because I mean, you're just a beast on the activity and what you're doing, and online, and your visibility, and being recognized by by people that are they're bigwigs.
Uh-huh.
So you've been an inspiration in that light too. So I got something to look forward to.
Okay. So, thank you so much. And I just do believe that, and I agree with Elizabeth, that you are going to change so many lives. You are doing it anyway, and you have changed my life actually.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
unbelievable because you've made me look at it in a different light, in a different perspective. So
yeah.
it's
No, and
because
same
I
for
don't
you.
look at it. I don't look at it as a negative anymore. That's a huge thing.
Yeah,
Huge,
yeah,
huge, huge.
yeah, yeah. Positive dyslexia.
Yeah. If you want to call it that, okay.
Yeah, there's a movement called that, and it's a mini movement, but
Are you
that's what
are you starting that movement?
I'm trying to put some gasoline on that positive dyslexia.
Okay. Well, I promised my audience that I would drop the bomb, so I want to invite you to Time to Thrive, the free challenge with Tony Robbins. That is coming up. Yes, there's Claude applauding because You know, it affected one of those challenges, affected his life big time. It's really one and only opportunity to learn from Tony Robbins live. I mean, where can you get that? So we want to invite you to do it together with us because you don't have to do it alone. You could join our Wow Club and we can do it together. We can connect, we can learn. By connecting, by the way, I got to meet the great Claude in San Francisco and have lunch with him. That's how much we connected.
Yeah, that was
That
amazing.
was
So
that was
yeah,
so cool. I just loved meeting you. It was,
yeah,
and so
yeah, well,
you know you you meet the greatest people online.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I want to invite you to join the Wow Club so we can learn together. We can build a community of seniors, young seniors, older seniors, whatever seniors online. Because we want to cheer one another up. We want to champion one another. We want to show that world that seniors matter. And
hell yeah,
retirement, whether it's in your future or not, or right here, it's really a time to thrive. So be part of our community. I am going to put here in the tickler where you can join the next free time to thrive challenge with Tony Robbins by joining the Senior Wow Club. We want to learn. We want to share our experience with you. We want you to be part of the community. So join the www.facebook.com/forward groups Lucy Rosa-Stagi to get more details. So join us now, and together we will impact younger generations to come. Thank
awesome,
you, Claude.
awesome.
Thank you
Lucy,
so
that was
much
a
for your
great
time
time.
today.
I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you next time.
Okay, bye everyone.
Adios. Thank you.
Adios.